My name's Ray Fuentes. I am the Red Shoe Broker. Today we have an interview with a rock star, Andrea Quyn from Calpro Inspection Group. Hi, Andrea.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi, yeah, absolutely. So I've known Glennen, your husband, probably for about 7 years, and he's done several training classes for various brokerages that I managed. A terrific guy, provides great information. I like him. I always recommend your company to my buyers. I wanted to talk to you today. Thanks for coming on. I wanted to share the information a little bit about what you posted on Facebook about a week ago. First off, yeah, go ahead. You know which one I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me the heads up on that. So actually, it was through SAR. So there are. Well, yeah, you know this. So. I think they're actually just studying real estate over at the Consumers, I can't even pronounce it, college, the JC there. And so they were bringing in different instructors for different topics. And so I just wanted to speak on the home inspection side of it. And I love it. I don't know, it's just fun.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is the Sacramento Association of Realtors has an internship program tied with the college, and I'm on the internship committee. That's just a separate side note. And Andrea and her company were some of the sponsors. So, you know, they actually donated money to make sure that the program continues on, and were kind enough to actually do a class that talked about home, and I'm sure it's not just home inspections, because I know you guys do much more.
Right. And the class was not just on home inspections, it was just on inspections in general.
After that class, you posted something on Facebook, and there were a couple things that struck me on that. One of them was that you hated high school.
I did. Oh, I'm surprised I finished high school.
Where did you go to high school at? Where was your high school?
Dixon High.
Where's that?
Dixon.
Oh, okay. So here locally.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then afterwards, you found out you went to college.
I did.
And you hated college.
No.
I knew that.
Yeah,
I knew that.
Right. So I actually, so I graduated high school right before I turned 18, and hated high school. Really, I don't know why. I just didn't, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I was missing, but I didn't find that spark in high school. And when I was 8, so I knew I was going to go to college. More because it was just the next step to do. My parents didn't shove it down our throats, but they just always talked about like that's the next norm. So I did have it in my head that I wanted to go to college, but I wasn't like a go-getter. And shortly after I graduated high school, Glennon was my boyfriend then, and
wow.
Yeah, so we got pregnant when I was 18, and most people were very, supportive because. What are you going to do now? You might as well make the best of it, right? And but I remember some comments from people about how I was never going to fulfill my dreams, and that is what lit me up. I just went on a mission to fully, but part of it was on a mission to provide for my soon-to-be child, and part of it was to prove people wrong.
Sure.
Motivations there. So that lit me up. So I ended up, I did go to college, and I ended up having 3 kids. My third child was born 3 weeks before I graduated college. I had 2 kids during the middle of the term. One of them was Saturday, and I was back in school on Tuesday. I mean, I had professors telling me you should drop this term, and I was like, no, I don't have time to waste. I got kids. So I kind of became stubborn, but I actually really enjoyed it. It's where the competitiveness in me came out. And I ended up really enjoying the education part of it too, which I think surprised the whole world.
So you're married, you have 3 kids, and I'm certainly pro-family. But one of the things that's super interesting for me is that you and Glennon built this business during all of this. I mean, like I said, it was about 7 years ago when I met Glennon. When did you start Calpro?
Glennon started it. I actually, he started it on his own 12 years ago.
Okay.
So it was really right after we both finished college. And yeah, so he started it 12 years ago. The first, I want to say, if I'm off, I'm really close. Probably the first 4 years or so, he was just a one-man shop. It was just a side job, really. That became a full-time job, but it wasn't a business, so to speak. He just was able to get jobs. And then the next couple of years, he started growing it. And I joined his team about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. It's not since I joined that it's exploded. It's not because of that. Just the restructuring of everything, just really putting a leadership team in place. That's when things started to really take off.
Right now, I remember, I don't know if he was the only inspector, but he certainly had a lot of experience when I met him. So he started 12 years ago. I met him 5 years into his practice. At the time, I guess he was full-time. He helped me. He helped sponsor Fathom Realty Group when we opened office here in the Sacramento region. And like I said, he was very helpful in training some of our agents. You came on board 2 years ago. I brought up your website, and it looks like you've got 10 or 12 people on your team.
That is a great thing to mention. That website is actually, like that photo that you see is a couple years old. We actually have a team, I think we're up to 33 people right now.
Wow.
I know. We are actually, that's why I'm like, it's kind of funny you bring that up. We are in the process of creating a whole new website, which will be a whole different thing, but it's such a big project, it'll take a few months. So for the next few months, that is our team, I think 2 years ago. So yeah, because that was when I first started working with them. So about 2.5 years ago. And yeah, I mean, that's a good sized team right there, but we've grown.
And you have like 30 people now?
I think we're at 33 to be exact.
33. And so I'm sure everybody thinks I'm on Facebook like constantly, but I'm not. I do look at all these posts. I go through it real quickly. And I noticed you had another post recently that you're actually looking to hire more people?
We are. Yes, we are. In 2 locations. So recently we actually acquired a smaller company over in San Jose, another inspection company. And so we have a team over there. And we are growing in both locations, in both the Sacramento area and the San Jose area. We have recently hired a few more people. We are still looking for some office staff. And I think maybe home inspectors right now.
So where's your office? Is it here in Roseville, Rockland, Sacramento?
So the office I'm in is in Loomis.
In Loomis, okay.
Yes, and then our Bay Area office is in Campbell. So, our offices are pretty small. In this business, most of our team is out in the field working.
Right.
There's very few of us that are actually in the office, on a typical day.
Now we're going to talk about work, actual inspection stuff. One of the things that home buyers sometimes get confused with is they believe an appraisal is a home inspection, that the appraiser is going to find out what's wrong with the house, and that's what we're going to base our request for repairs. But that's not true.
No, that's not true.
So tell us a little bit about the services you provide. Because it's not just home inspection. I recently saw that you did solar as well.
Yeah, we do so many different types of inspections. So the home inspection itself, so to kind of answer the first question about the difference between the appraiser and the home inspection, I don't really want to speak on the appraiser side. I'm not trained for that.
No, that's okay.
I mean, I do know, vaguely what they're doing, but what I will say is on our side, our inspectors will be out there, depending on the size of the home, but an average 2,000 square foot home, it'll probably take them 2.5 hours to do a very thorough inspection. Our home inspectors are inspecting for health and safety items. So they'll be looking at the roof, the crawl space, the electrical systems, the plumbing systems, all of that. But that is just the home inspection itself. We do offer pretty much almost every inspection a buyer would need, with a few exceptions in which we'll just send them to a specialist. We do termite inspections as well. Most buyers are going to want to get a home and pest inspection. We have
Right.
a full pest team as well. We do now offer pest control after they move in. We do sewer camera inspections. We do mold testing. Solar inspections. Gosh, I don't even know. What are we missing?
Well, there's two inspections I'd like to discuss with you. And again, part of this is the idea is to help clarify information for
Yes.
Consumers.
Yes.
And one of them is a pool inspection. But there is no such thing as a pool inspection exactly, right?
Well, we don't do like standalone pool inspections, but if you have a home that has a pool, we will do a pool inspection, and in which they'll be looking at like the pool equipment, they'll be looking at like cracking, the basic structure of the pool. If there's something that becomes a red flag, we'll then say, you want to call a pool specialist at that point.
Right. So the a big feature on pools for those of you that are watching is that the equipment is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And older pools, it's not unusual. It's because it's concrete, it's gunite. It may crack. It could shift. All kinds of things can happen, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's when you get somebody that builds pools, and a lot of times they can go ahead and actually resurface it and get rid of those cracks. Although I have seen situations where there was so much damage that it was just cheaper to get rid of the pool and the person didn't want the pool, so they just filled it in.
Yes.
So they have this nice concrete walkway around this big square dirt patch.
So actually, one of our neighbors, somewhat neighbors, they maybe a year or two ago they bought a house and they went to go put a pool in the backyard to discover that there was already a pool in the backyard.
Wow.
And they're actually really serious. Yeah.
I don't even think that's a disclosure.
I don't know.
Right?
I have no idea. I mean,
that is interesting.
Yeah. So they started digging and they found a previous pool.
Look, here's a pool. We're halfway there.
Right. But yeah, so to answer your question, there is a pool inspection. It's just, they're just going to be checking out the pool equipment and then the service.
Well, yeah. So I guess that was my point, is it's primarily what we check on is inspection. We inspect the equipment. Well, you do. And that's not that the other stuff isn't important, but that's hugely important because some of this equipment that I've seen is really old. That doesn't, the pumps leak, the pipes are, the above ground pipes are damaged. Of course, I can't see underground. But when you do a pool inspection, again, I call it a pool inspection because it really includes the equipment, not just the surface.
Correct.
It's important. I mean, if you have it, you should have questions.
Yes.
As a buyer. We talked about solar.
We do. So that's a new service for ours. So basically, one of the things, so I used to sell real estate. When Glennon had first started Calpro, I was a real estate agent.
Did not know that.
Yeah, for 8 years. And so I'm pretty familiar with that side of the transaction as well. And I remember clearly when, now more and more homes are being sold with solar on them. And it's like, nobody really knows what to do as far as the inspection goes there, right? You call a solar company and they might just try and sell you in more solar panels or I don't know. And the roofer is just going to say, I'm just going to take out that section of my guarantee.
Right.
So we knew that there was an opportunity there, basically. And we do have, at this point, we only have one team member who is doing those inspections for us, but he's got an extensive background in solars, in solar systems. And so he'll do an inspection on the actual solar system.
That's pretty cool. Tell me a little bit about the information you may have on one of the more interesting inspections that I'll use that word interesting. Can you share a story?
So at the end of the inspection, so the inspector will take a few hours to, to do their own inspection. At the end of that, we always suggest that they do a walkthrough with the home buyer to show the buyer, the home and all the findings. And then what's cool about that is by the time the buyer and their agent get the report, there shouldn't be any surprises. They've been
Correct.
walking through it. But this is actually back when Glennon was inspecting. He was the inspector. Luckily, he was training someone. So he had someone with him, which was just pure grace of God there. And he was by the pool and the buyer fainted and landed in the pool.
So, and we were doing a pool inspection and then somebody decided to check it out. They fainted and fell in the pool?
And fell in the pool, yes.
Wow.
And luckily, Glennon was, he had a trainee with him, which is just pure chance. That's very rare.
And they were able to pull the person out and...
Get her out, yeah. But that's probably not what you were trying to get at with your question, but that's...
No, that's good. That's interesting. Hi, so over here we have, we recommend you get a pest inspection because of the potential dry rot. And here we have this wonderful pool splash.
Fun, yes, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That was a good one. I like that. I like good stories. One of the other things that you mentioned, and I believe I saw it on your website, similar to how I believe I should run my business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, we're not talking to Glennon, but I'm pretty confident he's demonstrated this to me many times, is service. And I'm not just talking about providing great service. I'm talking about providing service to others.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate agents say, I'm going to provide great service, but what does that mean? And I like that you have it on your Facebook. Not your Facebook. I think it's your website. I like that you have it on your website, and I like the fact that I know how that above and beyond that your company has gone with my clients. So
thank you.
if you're watching and you think you need an inspection, give Calpro a call. The phone number is right there, 800-474-3540. You can go online to calprogroup.com. I think you can schedule an inspection there.
You can.
And of course, they're on Facebook, Calpro Inspection Group. So yeah.
Thank you.
I love the story that, that you wanted to teach at one time. That you got an opportunity to share with others information that you had. I didn't know you were a real estate agent. That's awesome.
It was, yeah.
And then, as I mentioned, you and I don't think we've ever met in person.
I don't think so.
No. But I've known Glennon for a long time. I've met him many times. And some of the folks in the picture that we had from your company, I've met them at the house, doing inspections.
Yes.
Very professional team, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other great stories or last minute comments?
I don't know. No, I can't really think of any good stories. I would just say we're pretty excited for the future. You talked about giving great service and all that, and the startup of our company and all that. And I think right now, we're entering a new phase and it's really exciting. It started off with just Glennon inspecting and then just having a couple of helpers. And then, you just have these stages. And at this point, we're at the point of, we've got multiple locations and just expanding like crazy, expanding our services. And we can't do it just me and Glennon anymore. And so at this point, the new phase we're entering is really developing our team and at a leadership level. Far beyond just doing a good inspection, but at a leadership level. And so it's really exciting. And then that kind of goes back to our service thing. Now we get to serve our team and help them develop, a really beautiful career there. So I guess that's kind of where we're at right now. That's our focus right now, is if we're going to continue to grow and be this, awesome company, we're maxed out, just Andrea and Glennon. So it's time to develop others.
Yeah, absolutely. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I've just one last point.
Sure.
I've only known you because I focus on residential real estate to do residential inspections, but you also do commercial.
We do. That's correct.
And you can see if you're watching, you can see on the screen that there's also environmental. Tell me a little bit about that.
The environmental is referring to the mold testing is actually what that is. Yeah.
Okay. So you do that as well then?
We do mold testing, correct.
That part I didn't know. Okay.
Yes. We do. So we could do surface tests, air tests, and then we'll send that out to a lab, and it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing is this last year, this last 6 months, I've been working with folks outside the Sacramento area.
Mm-hmm.
I know you just mentioned that you're just opened in the San Jose area, but
Mm-hmm.
what are your boundaries more or less?
Yeah. We don't. I mean, we don't really have like firm boundaries. It's very, very rare. I will say this, that an agent from Sacramento will have a transaction that we can't service. If it was farther than we can service, you would probably refer it to another agent. Usually, that's not. There are some exceptions, but usually that is what we find. We have gone as far as Chico multiple times. We've done multiple
Wow.
sections in Chico. The entire Bay Area. There really is no boundary there. We'll even do Santa Cruz if you want to start working your way. And then, we'll get like the Tracy, down past Galt. I mean, all the time. So pretty much anywhere where a Sacramento or Bay Area agent is going to sell, I would bet money on it that we'll be able to serve you there.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Thanks again
Okay.
for your time. Say hello to Glennon. And for those of you that are watching, my name is Ray Fuentes. I'm the Red Shoe Broker. My phone number is 916-919-1377. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And my license number is right there too, just as required. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Broker Ray out.